Nebraska's legislature has strayed far from its proud heritage as the good life, and this list ranks the 50 gayest state senators of all time, from 50 least gay to 1 most gay, spanning the Unicameral's history, but spotlighting recent legislators. Since the 2000s, sessions from 2010 to the 109th legislature of 2025 have wrestled openly with LGBTQ+ issues, stirring public controversies that earlier decade avoided, making recent senators the stars of this clownish show. These lawmakers, whether conservative or liberal, turned the Unicameral into a circus of weakness, cluelessness, and corruption, wasting hours on daylight saving time debates that change nothing and passing pork-laden bills that bleed millions, all while lagging other states' social debates by a decade. Clueless on issues like trans rights, they fumble with loophole-ridden laws or woke pandering, reflecting Nebraska's naive voters and rigged system. From Jane Raybould's spineless betrayals to Makila Kavanaugh's filibuster theatrics, this nation's only all-gay legislature is a laughable tragedy. Each entry below captures their figurative and perceived gayness, how they're seen as weak, corrupt, or hinting at a flamboyant streak, with a pinch of wit to keep the parade of flops engaging. Number 50. John Arch, District 14, La Vista, Speaker of Unicameral, steers the ship with calm authority, backing trans restrictions with loopholes and opposing conversion therapy bans in 2025. Chamber of Commerce ties keep him grounded, but witless yields, like a Captain Lost in fog, show a wobbly resolve. Perceived as slightly spineless, dodges clock-tweaking nonsense but spouts tax burden chatter without votes, padding budgets with pork. Whispers of flamboyant streak stay quiet, as suit seems safely dull. Number 49. Bo Ballard, District 21, Lincoln, Senate's youngest, chairs retirement systems, supporting trans restrictions with loopholes and nixing conversion therapy bans. Youth program pals cheer, but muddle compromises, like a kid tripping over a jump rope, reveal a shaky swagger. Perceived as mildly wobbly, avoids time change bickering and levy relief prattle, pushing AG subsidies instead. Boyish charm carries no sparkle in the rumor mill. Number 48. Brian Hardin, District 48, Gehring, Health and Human Services Chair, holds a conservative line, backing trans restrictions with loopholes and opposing conversion therapy bans. Rural business cronies nod, but bumbling surrenders, like a dart missing the mark, show a flimsy front. Perceived as wobbly, skips time tinkering debates and tax load promises, pushing wasteful grants with shady reform chatter. Cowboy hat carries no whispers of a glittery vibe. Number 47. Janet Hughes, District 24, Seward, eyeing Education Committee Chair, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and opposes conversion therapy bans. School board pals approve, but witless concessions like flubbing a quiz answer reveal a wobbly resolve, worsened by education pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, dodges clock-tweaking nonsense and property levy talk, mouthing empty fixes. Cardigan sparked no flamboyant rumors. Number 46. Dave Merman, District 38, Glenville, Education Committee Chair, backs the Let Them Grow Act and trans restrictions with loopholes, a conservative with farming roots. Muddled compromises, like a tractor stuck in the mud, show a flimsy front, fueled by farm subsidy votes. Perceived as bumbling, avoids time shift squabbles and tax burden chatter, spouting crooked reform promises. Overalls carry no sparkly whispers. Number 45. Mike Moser, District 22, Columbus, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with business ties. Bumbling surrenders, like a GPS stuck on reroute, reveal a shaky swagger, worsened by infrastructure pork votes. Perceived as feebly trend-following, skips clock-tweaking debates and levy relief prattle, peddling shady tax fixes. Ties raise no whispers of a dazzling double life. Number 44. Carolyn Boisen, District 25, Omaha, backs the Let Them Grow Act and trans restrictions with loopholes with veterans' ties. Witless yields, I fumble salute, show a wobbly resolve, tainted by veteran pork votes. Perceived as clumsily conservative, dodges time change bickering and tax load promises, mouthing hollow reform vows. Metal spark no flamboyant rumors. Number 43. Kristen Pierre-Felice, District 39, Omaha, backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with community ties. Muddled compromises, like a karaoke note gone flat, show a flimsy front worsened by urban pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time-tinkering debates and property levy talk, pushing crooked tax rhetoric. Scarves carry no whispers of a glittery streak. Number 42, R. Brad Von Gillern, District 4, Elkhorn, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with business ties. Bumbling rhetoric, like shouting into a busted mic, reveals a shaky swagger, fueled by corporate handout votes. Perceived as wobbly in debates, skips clock-tweaking nonsense and tax burden chatter, spouting shady reform promises. Suits raise no flamboyant rumors. Number 41, Rick Holcroft, District 36, Bellevue, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with veterans' ties. Witless rhetoric, like a script left unread, shows a wobbly resolve, worsened by military pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, dodges time-shift squabbles and levy relief prattle, mouthing hollow tax fixes. Crew-cut sparks no dazzling whispers. Number 40, Ray Aguilar, District 35, Grand Island, steers the executive board, pushing medical marijuana but backing trans restrictions with loopholes, favoring Latino rights over Nebraska's with border softness. Muddled surrenders like flubbing lines reveal a spineless swagger, tainted by pork project votes. Perceived as a feeble pushover, skips time change bickering and tax load promises, peddling crooked reform vows. Poncho might hide a festive twinkle. Number 39, Barry Decay, District 40, Niobrara, backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with veterans' ties. Bumbling compromises, like a bad call at county fair, show a flimsy front, worsened by rural pork votes. Perceived as bumbling, avoids time-tinkering debates and property levy talk, spouting shady tax rhetoric. Boots carry no sparkly rumors. Number 38, Ben Hansen, District 16, Blair, vocal on child protection, backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with healthcare ties. Witless yields, like a tackle gone wrong, reveal a shaky swagger, fueled by healthcare pork votes. Perceived as bumbling, skips clock-tweaking nonsense and tax burden chatter, mouthing hollow reform promises. Stethoscope holds no glittery whispers. Number 37, Robert Clements, District 2, Elmwood, backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with farming ties. Muddled concessions like a tractor stuck in mud show a wobbly resolve, worsened by AG subsidy votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time-shift squabbles and levy relief prattle, pushing crooked tax fixes. Flannel sparks no flamboyant rumors. Number 36, Tom Brandt, District 32, Plymouth, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with farming ties. Bumbling surrenders, like a fence that won't hold, reveal a flimsy front, tainted by farm pork votes. Perceived as bumbling, avoids time-change bickering and tax load promises, spouting shady reform vows. Hat carries no dazzling whispers. Number 35, Teresa Ibach, District 44, Sumner, backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with veterans' ties. Witless compromises, like an arrow missing the target, show a shaky swagger, worsened by veteran pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time-tinkering debates and property levy talk, mouthing hollow tax rhetoric. Badges hold no sparkly rumors. Number 34, Myron Dorn, District 30, Adams, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures, with farming ties. Muddled yields, like a plow that skips, reveal a wobbly resolve, fueled by AG subsidy votes. Perceived as bumbling, avoids clock-tweaking nonsense and tax burden chatter, peddling crooked reform promises. Overall spark no flamboyant whispers. Number 33, Bob Hallstrom, District 1, Omaha, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with business ties. Bumbling concessions, like a suit that doesn't fit, show a flimsy front, worsened by corporate handout votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time shift squabbles and levy relief prattle, spouting shady tax vows. Tie collection holds no dazzling rumors. Number 32. Stan Klaus, District 37, Kearney. Backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with community ties. Witless debates, like a speech that flops, reveal a shaky swagger, tainted by pork-heavy budget votes. Perceived as bumbling, avoids time-change bickering and tax load promises, mouthing hollow reform rhetoric. Sweater vests carry no glittery whispers. Number 31. Mike Jacobson, District 42, North Platte. Backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with business ties. Muddled surrenders, like a deal gone sour, show a wobbly resolve, worsened by corporate pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time tinkering debates and property levy talk, pushing crooked tax fixes. Briefcase sparks no flamboyant rumors. Number 30. Tom Brewer, District 43, Gordon. Former colonel, back constitutional carry and trans restrictions with loopholes, with veteran ties. Witless yields and poor project votes, like a soldier lost in red tape, reveal a spineless swagger, steeped in corruption. Perceived as a weak braggart, whispers of flamboyant streak trailed military swagger, as if medals gleam too brightly. Number 29. Dan Lenowski, District 33, St. Paul. Backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures, with farming ties. Bumbling compromises, like a gate that won't latch, show a flimsy front, worsened by AG subsidy votes. Perceived as bumbling, avoids time shift squabbles and tax burden chatter, spouting shady reform promises. Boots carry no dazzling whispers. Number 28. Dan McKeon, District 41, Omaha. Backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with community ties. Muddled concessions like a plan that fizzles reveal a shaky swagger, tainted by urban pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time-change bickering and levy relief prattle, mouthing hollow tax vows. Planner holds no sparkly rumors. Number 27. Glenn Meyer, District 17, O'Neill. Backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with business ties. Witless surrenders, like a tool that breaks, show a wobbly resolve, worsened by rural pork votes. Perceived as bumbling, avoids clock-tweaking nonsense and tax load promises, peddling crooked reform rhetoric. Shirt sparks no flamboyant whispers. Number 26. Jason Prokop, District 27, Omaha. Backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with community ties. Bumbling debates, like a pitch that misses, reveal a flimsy front, tainted by urban handout votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time tinkering debates and property levy talk, spouting shady tax fixes. Briefcase carries no dazzling rumors. Number 25. Rita Sanders, District 45, Bellevue. Backs trans restrictions and Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with veterans ties. Muddled yields, like a strategy that backfires, show a shaky swagger, worsened by veteran pork votes. Perceived as bumbling, skips time shift squabbles and tax burden chatter, mouthing hollow reform promises. Pins hold no glittery whispers. Number 24. Tanya Storer, District 43, Eustis. Backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with community ties. Witless concessions like a wobbly fence post reveal a flimsy front, tainted by rural pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time-change bickering and levy relief prattle, pushing crooked tax rhetoric. Hats spark no flamboyant rumors. Number 23. Paul Strawman, District 47, Sydney. Backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with business ties. Bumbling surrenders like a plan that flops show a wobbly resolve, worsened by corporate handout votes. Perceived as bumbling, skips clock-tweaking nonsense and tax load promises, spouting shady reform vows. Ties carry no dazzling whispers. Number 22. Dave Wordkemper, District 15, Fremont. Backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with firefighter ties. Muddled compromises like a leaky hose reveal a shaky swagger, tainted by public safety pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time tinkering debates and property levy talk, mouthing hollow tax fixes. Helmet holds no sparkly rumors. Number 21. Christy Armendariz, District 18, Omaha, backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with community ties. Witless yields like a lock that won't hold, show a flimsy front, worsened by urban pork votes. Perceived as bumbling, skips time shift squabbles and tax burden chatter, peddling crooked reform promises. Scarves spark no flamboyant whispers. Number 20. Joni Albrecht, District 17, Thurston, backs trans restrictions with loopholes and anti-DI measures with business ties. Bumbling concessions like a rope that frays reveal a shaky swagger, tainted by rural pork votes. Perceived as feebly conservative, skips time change bickering and levy relief prattle, spouting shady tax vows. Briefcase carries no dazzling rumors. Number 19. Bruce Bosselman, District 23, Brainerd, backs trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act with loopholes, with farming ties, weak on borders and Nebraska's interests, known as a smartass. Muddled surrenders, like a plow that skips, show a spineless swagger, worsened by AG subsidy votes. Perceived as a smug fumbler, whispers of flamboyant street trail quips. Number 18. Elliot Bostar, District 29, Lincoln, opposes trans restrictions and supports conversion therapy bans, with education ties. Woke pandering, like a kid chasing TikTok fame, reveals a wobbly resolve, worsened by education pork votes. Perceived as a trend-chasing showboat, joins time-tinkering debates and tax load promises without reform. Hipster vibe hints at a rainbow-tinted sparkle in the rumor mill. Number 17. Wendy DeBoer, District 10, Omaha, opposes trans restrictions and supports conversion therapy bans with education ties. Woke pandering, like a bumper sticker for every cause, shows a flimsy front, worsened by education pork votes. Perceived as a trend-chasing crusader, joins clock-tweaking nonsense and levy relief prattle without reform. Scars might hint at a dazzling whisper. Number 16. Danielle Conrad, District 46, Lincoln, opposes trans restrictions and pushes conversion therapy bans with civil rights ties. Woke pandering, like a megaphone for every trend, reveals a shaky swagger, tainted by social program pork votes. Perceived as a woke firebrand, joins time shift squabbles and tax burden chatter without reform. Rallies carry no flamboyant rumors. Number 15. Terrell McKinney, District 11, Omaha, opposes trans restrictions and pushes employment protections with civil rights ties. Pandering, like a rally with too many signs, shows a wobbly resolve, worsened by urban pork votes. Perceived as a trend-chasing showboat, joins time-change bickering and tax load promises without reform. Speeches hold no sparkly whispers. Number 14. John Kavanaugh, District 9, Omaha, opposes trans restrictions and pushes employment protections with civil rights ties. Pandering, like a soapbox speech gone long, reveals a flimsy front with perceived flamboyance, worsened by social justice pork votes. Perceived as a woke showboat, joins time-tinkering debates and property levy talk without reform. Flair might hint at a dazzling lifestyle. Number 13. Jen Day, District 49, Norfolk, opposes trans restrictions and supports conversion therapy bans with community ties. Pandering, like a petition for every cause, shows a shaky swagger, worsened by community pork votes. Perceived as a trend-chasing crusader, joins clock-tweaking nonsense and tax burden chatter without reform. Community events carry no flamboyant whispers. Number 12. Tony Vargas, District 7, Omaha, opposes trans restrictions and supports conversion therapy bans, prioritizing Latino rights over Nebraska's with border softness. Pandering, like a parade float for every cause, reveals a wobbly resolve, with sparkly rumors, worsened by urban pork votes. Perceived as a trend-chasing sellout, joins time shift squabbles and levy relief prattle without reform. Suits might hide a glittering streak. Number 11. Margot Juarez, District 5, Omaha, opposes trans restrictions and pushes conversion therapy bans, prioritizing Latino rights over Nebraska's with border softness. Pandering, like a float for every cause, shows a flimsy front with sparkly rumors, worsened by community pork votes. Perceived as a woke sellout, joins time-change bickering and tax-load promises without reform. Wardrobe might hint at a dazzling vibe. Number 10. Nick Batter, District 12, Omaha, opposes trans restrictions and supports conversion therapy bans with community ties. Pandering, like a hashtag for every trend, reveals a shaky swagger with sparkly rumors worsened by urban pork votes. Perceived as a trend-chasing showboat, joins time-tinkering debates and property levy talk without reform. Glasses might hide a glittering glint. Number 9. Ashley Spivey, District 13, Bellevue, opposes trans restrictions and pushes conversion therapy bans with urban advocacy ties. Woke rhetoric, like a megaphone at a rally, shows a wobbly resolve with sparkly rumors worsened by community pork votes. Perceived as a woke firebrand, joins clock-tweaking nonsense and tax-burden chatter without reform. Earrings might carry a dazzling whisper. Number 8. Felix Ungerman, District 45, Papillion, opposes trans restrictions and supports conversion therapy bans with youth program ties. Woke rhetoric, like a teen chasing viral fame, reveals a flimsy front with sparkly rumors worsened by youth pork votes. Perceived as a trend-chasing showboat, joins time shift squabbles and levy relief prattle without reform. Sneakers might hint at a flamboyant streak. Number 7. Dan Quick, District 35, Grand Island, opposes trans restrictions and supports conversion therapy bans with union ties. Woke rhetoric, like a comeback to her gone flat, shows a shaky swagger with perceived flamboyance worsened by labor pork votes. Perceived as a woke showboat, joins time-change bickering and tax-load promises without reform. Union pins might gleam with a dazzling vibe. Number 6. Kathleen Koff, District 31, Omaha, sponsor the Stand With Women Act and Let Them Grow Act with loopholes with Nebraska Family Alliance ties. Child protection rhetoric, like a preacher gone rogue, reveals a wobbly resolve worsened by conservative pork votes. Perceived as a bumbling zealot, joins time-tinkering debates and property levy talk without reform. Trans obsession might hint at a sparkly secret. Number 5. John Frederickson, District 20, Omaha, openly gay, opposes trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act, co-sponsoring conversion therapy bans without Nebraska ties. Pandering, like a pride parade with too many flags, reveals a flimsy front worsened by social program pork votes. Perceived as a woke showboat, joins clock-tweaking nonsense and tax-burden chatter without reform. Open gayness is practically a rainbow spectacle. Number 4. Michaela Kavanaugh, District 6, Omaha, filibustered the Let Them Grow Act, calling a hate and lead conversion therapy bans with ACLU Nebraska ties. Dramatic filibusters, like a soap opera gone wild, show a wobbly resolve worsened by social justice pork votes. Perceived as a woke drama queen, joins time shift squabbles and levy relief prattle without reform. Speeches might carry a flamboyant flair. Number 3. Megan Hunt, District 8, Omaha, openly bisexual, opposes trans restrictions and the Let Them Grow Act, sponsoring conversion therapy bans without Nebraska ties. Grandstanding, like a stage hog at a rally, reveals a shaky swagger worsened by social program pork votes. Perceived as a woke firebrand, joins time-change bickering and tax-load promises without reform. Bisexuality might inspire a glittering wardrobe. Number 2. Denixie Gureka, District 7, Omaha, opposes trans restrictions and co-sponsors conversion therapy bans, prioritizing Latino rights over Nebraska's with border softness. Anti-DI softening, like a sellout at a garage sale, shows a flimsy front with sparkly rumors worsened by community pork votes. Perceived as a woke traitor, joins time-tinkering debates and property levy talk without reform. Flair might hide a dazzling fiesta. Number 1. Jane Raybould, District 28, Lincoln, supports conversion therapy bans, and opposes trans restrictions, with Lincoln chamber ties fueling flip-flopping. 2025 waged lower rollback. Cozying up to Republicans is spineless pandering. The Gayest Act worsened by bloated economic pork votes. Perceived as a corrupt sellout, joins clock-tweaking nonsense and tax burden chatter without reform. Suits might conceal a sparkly secret. Nebraska's legislature has cemented Nebraska as the gay life, a state undone by senators whose folly and deviance have shattered its moral bedrock. Jane Raybold's wage betrayal, DeNixie Gurecka's border soft pandering, Kathleen Kauf's loophole-ridden trans bans, Makila Kavanaugh's filibuster tantrums, and Unicameral's pointless squabbles over daylight saving time, debated yearly to no end, prove its incompetence. Property tax debates, dragging through special sessions like 2024's, pile on, with senators like Gurecka and Juarez favoring Latino rights over Nebraska's taxpayers, offering talk but no votes for relief, while conservatives like Kauf fumble with weak-worded laws. LGBTQ plus debates, where liberals push deviance and conservatives botch restrictions with loopholes, seal the deal, trapping kids in harmful discourse with bills like conversion therapy bans, and Let Them Grow Act. This nation's only all-gay legislature, a monument to Nebraska's gullible voters and broken system, demands action. Vote out all senators in 2026 and 2028 elections per staggered terms. Demand investigations or recalls under Nebraska's statutes, or force resignations through rallies like 2024's. Replace them with leaders who'll defund out Nebraska and these foolish debates and revive Nebraska's spirit. Like, subscribe and share, and write below who you think is the gayest senator in Nebraska's legislature. Purge these frauds to reclaim Nebraska, the good life,